What is going on, my patriots? How y'all guys doing? Welcome to another edition. You guessed it, of Joel's News and Views, conservative news and views. If it's your first time tuning in to the broadcast, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell up top. Please like and share. Please like and share. Tonight we got a powerful show. We have some legendary guests in the movement. Uh, we are still waiting on Mr. Officer Tatum to come in. He should be here shortly. I think he just messaged me and everything else. So, with that being said, we're going to introduce our first legendary guest. Y'all guys know him as Anthony Brian Logan, but we also call him ABL. This man has been on several platforms, have destroyed liberals without even breaking a sweat. Give it up for Anthony Brian Logan, man. What's up, Mr. Logan? How you doing?
It's all good, man. Pleasure to be here.
All right, now the next guy, y'all already know who he is. He's been all over as an activist in California, still keeping it real, still not taking no you know what from nobody. My man Jericho Green. What's up, Jericho?
What up? What up? ABL, long time no see, man.
And last but not least, this man has literally came like the phoenix, man, out of the ashes. Nobody knew nothing about this man. But now he is also taking the conservative world by storm. My man, Greg Foreman. What's up, Greg?
What's good?
So, I know everybody's waiting for our honorary guest, Mr. Brandon. I'll text him. I don't know if he said he was coming, said he was going to be obligated to come through, so I hope he didn't get the times mixed up, but it's all good. I know he'll come through. He'll come through. But in the meantime, we are happy to welcome you, Mr. Anthony Brian Logan. You'll like this show. We just tell it like it is. We're usually a little raw and uncut, but because I know how you are with your channel, and I want y'all to be able to stream this on this channel, everybody know to keep it professional. So that's how we're going to do it. So, Mr. Anthony, enjoy yourself. It's just like being at home, man.
Oh, no doubt. You know, it's going to be good, man. I'm already looking forward to some of the topics. And you don't got to change nothing for me. You know, I'm on your platform, so do what you feel. It's all good.
Nah, it's good. We're going to keep it We're going to keep it professional because I wanted to be able to stream on y'all platform. So I don't want to get demonetized on either y'all and everything else. And speaking of that, I'm going to ask you a question since I got all three of you in here because I think you made a video about it. No, Mr. Brandon Tatum made a video about it. And Greg has also talked about it. What's going on with Fresh and Fit? Why in the world is these guys are trying to demonetize people just because they don't like them talking about them? Isn't that kind of like childish to you?
Yeah, man. See, the thing is, they're trying to control the narrative, in my opinion. They don't want guys to say things about them that they don't like. Now, if these guys were singing their praises, saying, hey, Fresh and Fit, they got the best podcast on the internet, then it might be a little bit different. Then it might not be, oh, using my content without my permission, all this, that, and the third. I think they're trying to control the narrative because so many guys are saying things they don't like, and they're trying to abuse the system. But YouTube is serious. This ain't no game over here. Like, people have whole corporations built on YouTube. Millions of dollars are generated from, like, one channel. So it's dead serious. You can't just do whatever you want to do. And I think they're going to learn that the hard way.
Yeah, man, I agree. I mean, I thought it was an unspoken rule that you don't do that you don't just send people frivolous copyright claims and strikes and stuff like that. Because, I mean, if they did, I mean, if that applied to my channel, I would literally be done because that's all I do is use other people's content all the time. You know, and it's like this is clearly fair use, right? Criticizing other people's, content and stuff like that. And, when you get busted, in some stuff and then you want to get mad about it and you want to get your paralegal, not even a lawyer to, take down other people's videos. Seems like they kind of got caught up in some stuff, man.
Yeah, sounds to me like they forgot, one of the golden rules, especially when you're in the public forum, is any publicity is good publicity. So if people are talking about it, they're still sharing it, people are still looking at it, it's still hitting people's eyes and ears. So instead of crying about it and then trying to go after people, man, especially like, just a regular person, like you're going to attack them and take away what? Why are you doing that to them? You're the one who said it. You're the one who got caught up. You're the one who wasn't being real. So what do they say? Get in front of it or something like that. Do something, but you got to let it ride. That's how it is out here. This is the wild, wild west on the internet. Good or bad, like ABO was saying, if they were saying how great you are, in the way in the world, you'd be hitting them up, telling them to stop telling people how great we are. We're going to see, like, get real. Just take it on the chin or wherever you want to take it. And publicity is publicity. It's all good. Enjoy it.
I agree with that, because the more I watch this drama, the more I'm just like, wow. Like, when they first got hit, they lost a ton of subscribers, like 40, 50, 60,000 subscribers. And then, like, even after being exposed, they still, like, gained, like, another, 100,000 or so, and they got up to 500,000. So it's like, any publicity is good publicity, whether it's good or bad, honestly, at this point. And if people are still watching it, I mean, mainly for the entertainment value, then, like, why don't you just let people just keep making videos about it? Like, it is what it is. It's not even hurting you at this point.
Right, exactly. Just ride the wave of controversy. Just keep riding the wave. People saying things about you don't like. Okay, you could just keep riding that. Like, people, they may have a negative view of you, but others may have a positive view of you. So it don't even matter. See, by doing this, it makes it worse, because the narrative is still out there. You still didn't control it. People still think what they think about you. You're trying to play whack-a-mole. You're trying to just squash this narrative, and then here's another channel over here with the same narrative, another one over there. So you can't really squash them fast enough. And then on top of that, it's like you're telling on people, telling, oh, take him down. I don't like what he says. So now you have an even worse reputation. You're not actually fixing the problem. And then on top of that, their whole platform is kind of built on controversy, picking out girls and stuff like that. So it's like, hey, when your platform is controversial, you're going to breed controversy. You got to embrace it. And if you don't want to embrace it, you might as well be a little kid channel. You be cutting grass and stuff like that on your channel and have no drama, no beef, and everything will be all right.
Yeah, I mean, nothing travels farther and faster than controversy. Right. That's going to get people who knew nothing about you. Just the fact that it's controversy. Oh, do you see these dudes? Who are they? Next thing you know, they're down the Google rabbit hole. It's all good, man. Just sit back, be quiet, enjoy it. Come back after the wave is already crested, as they say, and get back to doing your thing. There's still people out there going to be buying your stuff. There's going to be people out there who didn't even hear about this crap.
Exactly. Man. You muted, Joel.
My bad. All right. I've seen ABL, especially ABL. I've seen him got dragged over the years, since I've been following him almost 2 years now, by bigger people than Fresh and Fit could ever imagine. And he still held his weight. He didn't cry about it. He didn't complain. He even had major YouTube liberals that use this content trying to depict it and break it down for their little audience. He didn't go out there and say, well, you know what? I got you guys. He never done that. ABL just laughed about it. He even made jokes about it on one of his videos when I seen. I thought that was pretty cool. And he kept it moving. So to me, it shows that feminine side that we talk about. It seems like now men don't have masculinity at all on this platform. They say they do, but they don't. Because soon as somebody tells them something they don't like or hears something that they get criticized, they get in their feelings and want to just kick their ball and go home and, write all kind of graffiti and stuff on the wall talking about life hurts.
I was watching one of those videos earlier today about you, ABL, that somebody made about you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hunter Avalon. I was watching.
Oh, Hunter. You know what? Hunter, that's like my little nephew right there. That's like my little cousin. Straight up, because hold on, before you go into it, I actually met him a long time ago. When I first started doing this, I met him in 2017 in El Paso, Texas. We went to a speaking engagement at a college right there, UTEP. It was hot. It's in El Paso. It's like 100 degrees. I got all black on with a black tie. I don't know what I was thinking. I was about to burn up, busting the flames. But anyway, we're in the hotel lobby getting ready to go to the speaking engagement. It was me, Hunter. It was Roman Millennial. Lauren Chen, I don't know if you know what that is. Lauren Chen, she was there. It was a few of us that were there. Now, Hunter comes down the stairs with his tie, his necktie in his hand. And it's like, hey, can anybody tie a tie? Can anybody help me? I was like, look, son, I got you. I got you. I will tie your tie for you. I put him in front of the mirror. It's like I was his dad for the moment. I put him in front of the mirror. I tied his tie. I was like, there you go, young man. There you go. There you go. Now, after all that, after I was his dad for a few moments, I get treated like this, man. It's terrible.
He didn't mention that in the video, bro.
He sure didn't. He did. He talked about that part, did he?
He didn't mention he met you, dog. Like that would have been some like interesting information for him to say that he actually met you. Yeah, then he gonna make videos about you and not mention that he actually met you in real life and ask you, can you tie a tie? Like a man don't know how to tie a tie. Come on now,
man. You just look. You don't go public with that information. You just don't. You just don't wear a tie that day. I'm not, bro. I'm not walking to no group of men. Nothing saying, hey man, because there's only one way to get your tie tied, and the dude tying your tie. I mean, you're a little kid.
Yeah, exactly.
You should have gave him a little, hey, come here there, buddy. You should have gave him a little noogie. Oh, man.
Yo, real talk. You should make a response video and just say that. Like, literally just tell that story and nothing else.
Yes, that's all I got to say. I don't got to say nothing else. That right there kills it. That kills it. So.
All right, man. Let me go. Let me hit to these super chats right quick. This is from my boy Mo. Thank you for the $5 super chat, man. Much love. His channel is also on Raw 2, Late Night Conservative. If you want to hear about what happened with the Rittenhouse trial, he was right there the whole time, outside getting good content the whole time. Mr. Bob K. Mitt, he said, great group of men, Joel. Got to take out that pretender from AZ. Well, we're about to talk about it in a minute. From Arizona, the fake politician.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see anybody else. I want to make sure I got all super chat. Oh, yeah. And the last one, Miss Anna Rodriguez, one of my producers. Oh, my God. ABL, Joel, Greg, and Jericho. I love y'all so much. Lots of love from Austin, Texas. We love you too, man. We really do. We do this for the people, man. Now, let's talk about this fake politician. Shout out to ABL. Y'all, let me tell y'all about my boy ABL. That's why I like ABL and Jericho. They throw shade so smooth. You don't realize they throwing shade at you until about an hour and a half later when you look at it, you like, wait a minute. They just threw shade at me. Like when he took the picture with my man and he said, I thought he was one of my biggest fans. I never thought you.
I mean, like I saw him. I met him in DC. I met him in DC last year, like in October, November. When he had this march. And we were at the White House, during the march. He came up to me. He was like, hey, man, I'm a big fan of yours. He was saying that people came up to him thinking that he was me. They thought that he was me because he kind of looked similar a little bit with the hat on. So I was like his twin that day, and he was super cool, super nice. So when I saw the whole thing happen, I'm like, wait a minute, is that the same guy that I met in DC? Is that him? And then I saw his tattoo; it matched like in a different picture. I'm like, oh man, say it ain't so. It was terrible.
Bro, don't people know how the internet works? And like we were talking about this yesterday, but that dude, that fake politician. When somebody, this day and age, if you're anybody of note, if somebody invites you out to eat, don't say nothing incriminating because they got a camera sitting on the table filming you from the bottom. How many times have we seen that? How many times have we seen that Project Veritas angle? What's wrong with you, man? If you are fit like
you be the camera like this, you be in the camera. Yeah, so I got the bodies buried in my backyard and I chopped him up. I killed him. Yeah, that's where he's at. And F Trump too. Like,
if you see a glass of water on the table in that upward angle, it's a wrap. And if you know you're fake when you close the bedroom door at night, you know what's up. You know you're fake. You know you're lying. Don't ever say that out loud. Why would you say that out loud to another human being when we all have HD cameras in our pocket? Literally. And you're in politics, you're a fool. That dude's dumb. And when you talk about people behind their back like that, they can't trust you. And when that trust is broken, it's over. And he's screwed himself, man. His political career is done, man. You don't do that to people. And I don't care who you are. That hits you on a personal level, even though he may not know you. But to talk about a group that you belong to like that, behind your back, knowing how they really feel, and he's smiling in your face, and you're the fool sitting there like, oh, this guy's cool. I think I'm gonna vote for him. That's irreparable damage. It's a wrap.
Man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna tell y'all guys. I'm about to bring y'all my co-host, the guy that was supposed to be here earlier. He got the links mixed up, but it's all good. I took care of it. My man Trey, the NBD. What's up, Trey, man?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Jericho,
up,
good to see you again. Greg, good to see you
too,
again.
Man.
No doubt.
Good.
Man, ABL was going, man. I haven't seen you ABL since the O'Shea Duke Jackson days.
Oh
man.
yeah, the good old days. Way back.
Hey, look,
Oh wow.
P-Town
Oh,
repping,
wow.
man. I'm from P-Town too.
Okay, that's what's up. What part you from?
Cavalier Manor.
Okay, yeah, I say out Churchland and everywhere else, but Churchland was the main part.
Oh yeah, I know Churchland quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. And speaking of that, ABL, since you say you from West Virginia and everything else, how in the world did you got into the politic commentary game? How did that all start?
Well, I got to be clear. So I was born in West Virginia, ran West Virginia, where Randy Moss is from. So, shout out to Brand University. But as a little kid, like a baby, I moved to Virginia. Like we moved to Newport News first. Straight from the country. Like that's what my parents are straight country. My mom, born and raised in Rand. My dad, born and ran and raised in Roanoke, Virginia, like way out far west. So they're real country. My dad, like they're like rednecks, basically. We came from the mountain in the trailer home. We brought it to Newport News, and it's still parked right there, right by the JRB. If you know what I'm talking about, Trey, right by the JRB, trailer park right there. That's where we lived, and we moved around different places, wound up in Portsmouth and then Chesapeake, the typical stuff. So I'm in pretty much all black areas my whole life, but at the same time, I'm in a very, very, very conservative household. Very conservative because my mom is from West Virginia, small town, no stoplights or nothing. So we didn't have this household where it was a bunch of chaos and drugs and cussing and fighting going on. Even still to this day right now, if I curse in front of my mom, I'm getting popped straight up. My mom's about 5 foot tall even. I'm getting popped straight in my mouth for cussing. At 37 years old, it don't even matter. So I just had a conservative upbringing anyway, but not politically. It was always this whole thing about, oh, don't vote for Republicans. They're racist. It was never an explanation, but it was always don't vote for them. But as I got older, as I got to be an adult, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm starting to kind of pay attention and do a little bit of my own thinking for myself. And I realized that the political stuff did not match how I was raised socially. It didn't match like this whole thing, all this gender non-conforming and abortion and stuff like that. To me, that just didn't make any sense. It's like, how is my mom raised a certain way, my dad raised a certain way, but yet this is the politics. So for me, I think after Barack Obama, I voted for him. Matter of fact, at the time I was in Virginia Beach, we had an office because I was working for an ad agency out right across the land from all. We had an office party, all our clients and all our people that worked at the agency. People were crying when Obama got elected. It was crazy. But about 2010, 2011, when the economy kind of dipped, a lot of my friends who were at that party were like, wait a minute, this ain't what I thought it was going to be. When the economy kind of went down and Obama didn't really follow through, but he was doing things for the LGBT and illegal aliens, but not for us. I'm like, okay, this ain't really right. So that kind of sent me on the journey. And I say 2011, 2012, I kind of had that red pill moment and was like, nah, I'm going to just be conservative politically to match my social conservatism. Been that way ever since.
And that's cool, man, because like I said, I grew up with the same values, and just like you, I can't say certain words around my mom, and she's 5 foot tall, so that's pretty unique. I don't know what it is about 5 foot tall black women, man. They crazy. The old school ones is crazy, man. But that's how I was raised too, man. Like with church, like when I made. And speaking of that, I made a controversial video this week. I don't know if you guys heard about the pastor who went on the drag queen show and he lost his job at the church. And now he's got this GoFundMe and he wants everybody to be like,
a drag queen show. So was he performing?
Yeah, he was performing. He was on the HBO show. This dude was there for the whole season.
Yeah.
So wait, hold on, because I'm not familiar with the story. So let's just talk about it for a moment, just quickly. So was he like dressed up on the stage doing the dances and stuff?
Bro, yes, he was in it. Like he was like enjoying it. He said he did it because his daughter was pansexual. That was why he did it, to show her
No,
support.
Bruh.
I don't think so. I'm sorry.
I gotta look this up. I'm about to do a video about this.
You got to, Greg. You got to, bro. His joint is crazy. I got a lot of backlash about that, man. A lot of people got mad at me and said I was too hard on the minister. And I was like,
What was you
how?
saying? What was you saying?
I was saying, like, how can you lead a church and you living a double life? That's like the pastor's wife doing OnlyFans all week long, and then she's trying to mentor younger women, talking about this is what you have to do to be.
You need to respect yourself.
But you know, there's like more progressive liberal churches out there. You know, maybe he belonged to one of those.
No, they got rid of him, bro. They was like, he got to go.
Like if you want to get into all that kind of stuff, that's fine. That's the beauty of this country. No one's going to persecute you for doing whatever you're into, no matter how weird they might think it is. But if you belong to this structure called the church, Christian, Catholic, Muslim, whatever, if you are living inside of the structure of the church, there's a certain way you're expected to behave. If you don't want to behave like that, get out of the church. But as long as you're in the confines of that church, especially as a pastor, you have to behave a certain way. You got to believe a certain way. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It doesn't work that way. If you want to be into the whatever deviant, do it. But you can't do it under the steeple. You can't do it inside the walls of the church, because there is a manual for how you're supposed to behave. There's a manual for how you're supposed to believe, period. It's very clear. It's been around for a long time. They worked all the kinks out. So if you want to do that, do that. But you can't be talking about what's in the book and then living a different way like it's okay out in the open. No shame. Your religion says there is shame in that. Your religion says that's wrong. And if you're one of their representatives, that's what you need to be saying. That's how you need to be living. I can't stand people that try to have it both ways, especially in such a trusted position. People trust you. They believe you. You counsel them in some of their hardest times in life. You give them advice that they live by because you got that collar, you got that Bible, you got that robe, whatever. People trust you, and you can't blur the lines. There's clear lines, clear statements. But what about this? Oh, Luke, whatever, this book, this chapter, this line, here it is. So if you're in here, you got to play by the rules, man. That stuff makes me so mad.
Yeah, man.
If I could chime in, what I think is happening is you got to. A lot of people are seeing the direction. You know, like somebody in the chat said, these woke churches are going, and unfortunately, in the melanated churches in the inner cities and the melanated suburbs of America, we got the Bishop Eddie Long type situations going on, and I thought that was a once and done thing with Bishop Eddie Long. They're gonna get rid of him. It's the deal. But they forgave him before he passed away. R.I.P. Regard all that other stuff he was doing. But then I started to notice this trend and a whole lot of female pastors, LGBT pastors, churches in the as we call it over on that side of YouTube, the community. And I'm thinking this pastor was thinking he could get the pass, but he ran into a brick wall, and his parishioners are like, no, we don't get down like that.
I always find it interesting how people try to reconcile like the Bible and like homosexuality. I'm like, bro, have you read Leviticus? Like, it is very clear that God, at least the God of the Old Testament, is not cool with this. Right? Like, I don't understand how do you try to reconcile it. It's it's right there. Like,
it's a very rigid document. It's not fluid. It's not organic. It's not alive. It is what it is. So if you're in there and you committed to it, this is what you have to do, man. You can't go against the grain. But then, what has the church turned into to where they have no problem saying this, doing this? I saw some a lesbian priest. Hey, I'm sorry. The manual says we can't do this, but she has a church. How did it get to that point? Who's going to that church? Who's listening to them?
And you know what? Excuse me, guys. I was gonna chime in too, and I'm glad you said that because I got a personal testimony. I have a cousin. My cousin is 50-something years old. I love him to death. I think he's a great person, but he is openly gay, and he calls himself an apostolic minister. And I tell him that all the time. I have a conflict with that ever since I was young. I was like, yo, how can you be the leader of the world of the word, and you doing worldly things like that. Like that's a conflict of interest here. You know what I'm saying? And he would get mad at us when especially me, because we haven't talked now in the last 10 years, because he got really upset with me saying I was being judgmental. And I was like, I'm not being judgmental. I'm just being realistic. You got to look at it from a moral standpoint. Like, if you wasn't a leader of a church, nobody wouldn't care. That's your life, whatever. But you're in a leadership position. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in a very sacred leadership position. You know, that's like a priest being a porn star. Nobody's not going to be taking him serious.
Well, I tell you, Joel, man, things have, unfortunately, things have kind of morphed together. They see this. You see a lot of people, the big names out there on the lefty mainstream media saying that, the black struggle and the alphabet struggle are the same struggle now, which is just blowing my mind.
Me too.
I think I call it the Voltron theory. Their arguments and causes are so weak on their own that they have to combine. They got to meld together and form this giant blob of SJW gripes and complaints, because on their own, it takes 10 seconds and you can peel back the layers and it's all a lie. It's not the same. I've said this for years, man. Your sexuality you can hide that. You can cover that up. Nobody has any idea you walking down the street, what you're into in the bedroom. Your race, you can't hide that. So on that level, they're not the same. I've had somebody I know who's non-binary and all that kind of nonsense tell me that calling a gay person queer is same as calling a black person a nigger. I'm like, how is that possible?
Well,
one of these words.
It's gone. Don't worry about it. It'll be all right.
One of these words has two different meanings. The other one has one. It just means one thing. You can, queer. You could be talking about a gay person. Queer also means strange. Nigger, we only got one definition for that.
Right.
And to compare the hardships and the things that black folks did go through, and I don't believe it was on the scale that they say that we've all black people. No, there was have been successful black people since the inception of this country. But for them to equate the two, no, forget that, especially now. You breathe on somebody who's in the alphabet soup group and it's over. They're everywhere. That's ridiculous, man. But they're so weak on their own because they act like, Harvey Milk was yesterday. It's so weak on their own that they have to meld them together. But I don't like how quick we are to jump on that, to accept those kind of people into this movement or whatever this is. Why are we so desperate to have someone join our cause and almost be duped, fooled, bamboozled all the time?
But you know what? I think it's an agenda too, though, because you see it a lot in church. And I was just perusing the channels the other day and happened to come across this. I think it's a Christmas performance. It's the National Christmas Tree Lighting. I saw it the other day, and who do I see on there singing gospel songs in a deep cut golden sequence blouse? Your man Billy Porter, the person, the black man who's HIV positive, by the way, HIV positive. Okay, he has a new book called Unprotected. Not making it up, I promise.
What?
HIV positive, his new book Unprotected. Wow, that kind of go hand in hand. But anyway, he's singing gospel music with makeup on, like lipstick, all of that, low cut blouse. So obviously they're trying to, like you said, they're trying to mash it together. So they're trying to conquer the church because that's kind of a barrier against the LGBT agenda. They're trying to conquer the church, trying to conquer the black male and the image of the black, or make them real soft. Don't have kids, don't protect your family, don't do nothing like that. Just be real soft, just be for us. So then it's like you have no defense. That's the whole thing. And then they want to empower the black woman. Matter of fact, Greg, here's a good idea for a video. I'm gonna do one too. I just saw in Georgia they're doing a UBI for black women specifically for 2 years. It's gonna be a select group. It's like 700 people for 2 years. Black women specifically, not the man, just the women. In Atlanta, that's where it's going to emanate from, in Atlanta.
Let me make sure I take notes on this. I got 2 video ideas tonight already. Tomorrow, I'm set.
And that is sick, and that's racist. Let somebody come out and say we are only giving $100 to white women every month. That's it. It's over. They'd all move in. All the Al Sharptons, they would all be on site. They'd be holding hands, talking a bunch of nonsense. They'd all be there. Everybody, CNN would have their panel of the Joy Reids and the Van Jonesvivs, and they would all be talking about how terrible and racist that is. How can this is Emmett Till and this is slavery? It would be out of control, man. But there's certain things as a society we got to agree on. Water's wet, the sun is hot, snow is cold, things like that we got to agree on. And this is racist. I don't care who the recipient is. When you block it off for just a certain group of people based on what color they are, that's the textbook definition of racism. But out of the other side of their mouth, they're talking about we need to combat racism and we need to have all these things against racism, but we're promoting racism.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's weird when they do that, when they, are so like, oh, I'm anti-racist, but anti-racist basically means be racist towards white people and whatnot. And I'm like, how do you expect people to get on board with your movement when you're literally trying to tell them that, hey, we want to discriminate against you and that we want to take all the power away from you and we want you guys to be at the bottom now because we feel like y'all been at the top for too long. That's literally what they're saying. Did you guys see the video of the Biden appointed U.S. attorney? I forget her name off the top of my head.
Rollins.
Yeah, Massachusetts, that went on that like
Rachel
rant.
Something.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Yeah. She went on that rant where she basically accused a news reporter of trying to harm her children because they showed up to her house to question her about why she basically tried to threaten to write this woman a ticket in a parking lot, even though she's not a police officer. And she basically told him that you can't come up here off the ramblings of a white woman. And, I'm a black woman and you can't do that this day and time. And it's like, she literally supports not defunded police, but she's like anti-police, right? But she was like, I'm going to call the police on you. And I'm going to accuse you guys of like, these petty crimes. And she's like one of these progressive prosecutors who literally is like, I'm not prosecuting people for trespassing, for stealing, disorderly conduct and all that other stuff. But yet she's literally threatening these reporters and telling them I'm going to do all this stuff that she says publicly that she doesn't believe in to them, but only because they're now basically doing it to her. And it was kind of telling.
Well, what it is that it's the new racism is the new crime. That's what they're going towards in society is that, we're going to make emotional crimes, things that hit you in the fifis are now going to be penalized. It goes along with the whole getting rid of toxic masculinity. But one thing it's doing, when I see I see it everywhere, especially here in Texas, it's like two different societies. You've got about 90% of black women who vote with the left are living in this fantasy world of this real oppression and they're really acting out. And unfortunately, what it's doing is that it's bringing back that old school racism. People are like, I see it in comments, chat sections, and people are seriously like, bump it. F them, screw them, dropping the N-bombs, dropping everything else. And it's like, hey, y'all get what you get. Y'all asked for this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is what they wanted. But again, on the other side of their mouth, they're saying they don't want it. This is what you're ushering in. This is the chickens are coming home to roost. This is what you wanted. You talk about this racism and this oppression, here it comes. And it's such a slap in the face of those who already took care of this problem. This is done. We're digging this corpse up, trying to bring it back to life. They already took care of that. They went through the real. They went through the real, the racism that they fantasize about and fall asleep to. These people lived it. They did it. They got the scars from the dogs and the hoses and the batons and the church bombings and all these kind of things. You can't come in here because of what you look like. So why would you undo all that? Because they did that. You have the ability to act that stupid. You have the ability to say these ridiculous, dumb things. And this woman is half black. I find it so funny how people discount 50% of somebody's DNA makeup. You wouldn't give up 50% of nothing else. Your check, your assets. You ain't gonna do that for nothing. Don't discount 50% of who this person is. And I would love to stick a microphone in the face of their family members, their white fathers, their white mothers, to see how they feel about what their kids are saying about the group they listen to, and think about how they raised them and the love that they gave them, the Kaepernicks, where they took you out of a situation where nobody wanted you. The person who made you, the person who birthed you, didn't even want you. These evil white people plucked you out, put you in an upper middle class to rich lifestyle, got you quarterback gurus, sent you to camps, drove you everywhere, showed you nothing but love, and then you turn around and say that they're evil. So I wonder how they feel about this nonsense and how people are so quick to discount half of who these people are. It ain't 10%, ain't 5%. This ain't Elizabeth Warren. This ain't 1,000th of a percent. We're talking about 50. I'm a black woman. Kamala Harris is the first black. Shut up.
Well, it's funny because, again, that ideology in and of itself has a racist background, right? Like the one drop rule was like, we classified you as black back in the day when they actually had real racism and segregation if you had one drop of Negro blood. And they're literally using that same logic to say that, hey, you know what? If I have a one drop of Negro blood, then therefore I'm black, and that the other, like you said, the other 50% of them, or 67% of some of these people, really, John King, they discount that and they act like that is not relevant anymore, and that they're just black simply because they have just some African heritage or whatever.
You know, and then here's another thing too, and I'm glad y'all pointed out. You remember ABL? I think you did a piece when I first started following you. It was like back here either in 2019 or 2020. You did a piece, you know, about us as black men being from the hood, aka the stand. That if we had someone that was either real light skinned or real red bone, they always try to show that they had that black in them. You know what I'm saying? And it's a mental thing. It's been like that for years because, you know, you always got in the community, you know, in the black community, if you're not fully our skin tones, a lot of, you know, black folks would be like, oh, you ain't black, man. You ain't got enough black in you. And so they'll be like, okay, I'm going to act like this and I'm going to just go over the top. That's why Colin Kaepernick be reaching when he say that, oh, yeah, playing football in tryouts was like slavery. You know what? If that's the case, I would love to be a slave. Getting paid $50 million to be a slave? I am down. I don't know about you. Would you, ABL? I know you would, Jericho. 50 million?
I be running slant routes, running straight through the train, no pads. Yo, get me out there.
Junior, let's go.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Oppress me, please, with all those zeros.
All day long. All day long. You know what? The thing is, it's like you got these guys who try to overcompensate because they didn't quite feel black enough growing up.
Exactly.
That's really what it is. And then, like Kaepernick, I didn't even know he was black from the beginning. I thought he was like some kind of Italian or Arab. I didn't know he was black.
He didn't either.
I still think he Arab, honestly.
He was Sicilian or something.
Sicilian. Oh,
hey,
Jesus.
I know. I think I'm the oldest one up here, but I blame Wesley Snipes, and I'm 46. So I grew up, you know, in the late 70s.
Oh yeah,
80s.
Okay. Yeah.
Always good on black.
Yeah, light skin was cool then, 1991.
I'll be sure. Yeah, all that stuff. Eric
When
LaSalle.
Brown,
Remember Eric LaSalle in Coming to America?
Yeah. Red
Tell
bone.
y'all what. When Nino Brown, Wesley Snipes, when he pointed out Christopher Williams in that courtroom, that was it.
Man.
That was it.
Kareem Akbar.
I went to school the next day. Next thing you know, the girls was jocking. I was like, what happened?
Oh man, Wesley Snipes, man, when he played New Jack City and he told that light skinned man, I'll make $5 chains out you, man.
Yeah, sit your $5 ass down before
that boy make change. That man, every woman in America want that man.
Bro, dark skin, man, it just went the whole. I was like, man, thank God we winning, and we still winning.
Hey, but you know what though? I mean, to keep it 100. So my kids are mixed. My wife is white. So when I see these Kaepernicks and I see these Sean Kings and all this kind of stuff, I think about that because when my wife and I, when we first got married and when we planned to have kids, this never crossed my mind. I never thought about it. We were just married. We're in love. Let's make a family. But now seeing this and being more aware of it, you know, how can I combat that? How do you combat that? How do I keep them from turning into those kind of people? Because I'm sure their parents who raised them figured they were doing a good job too. They didn't think they were radicalizing their kids. Did it happen when they go to church, to college or something?
College, yes. College.
You know, when they're hanging around, black folks, do they make them feel that way? Do they already feel that way? You know, before anybody even says something to them. So I think about that, sometimes, and I hope my kids don't turn into them damn weirdos, because man, it's ridiculous and it's sad for all parties involved, man. And to have people say those kind of things about white people, it's like, and it's not even like you're in a position of power. It's not like the tables have turned. We still are who we are. White folks are still most of the population. So, but this attitude of like, well, now it's okay for me to bully you and pick on you. So now I'm going to do that. I'm going to say all these outlandish things, when it's a real opportunity to not do that, to not, repeat that wrongdoing. Two wrongs don't make a right. It would be much more powerful to not take that opportunity to, take part in this new racism. And it's sickening, man. It really is. And it sucks because people like us who don't believe in that nonsense somehow get lumped into groups with these fools, because that's all they see. These over emotional LeBron Jameses, they spray painted my garage door allegedly. And he goes out there saying, the first thing I thought of was Emmett Till. Shut up. No, you didn't. You did not look at that and think Emmett Till. How would you even make that connection? So things like this that are condoned and championed, I mean, this is
wow.
sick.
Hey, and speaking of that, man, we talking about sickening people. BLM took a real loss this week, man. Especially actually at the end of the year. Let's talk about Jussie. Oh, Jussie.
Cheeks clapped. If I could say that on your channel.
Bruh. Good boy.
I think he took more than one pounding, bro.
I mean, is it?
Yeah, he might have do the case on purpose.
Like, bro, I actually do think he was in a relationship with those dudes, though. At least one of them
was. At least one of them. But is it punishment to send him to prison? I mean, probably not.
That's a vacation, man.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
but
right before I came up here, one of these crazy MAGA Telegram groups I follow said that him and Don Lemon had something going on.
Probably do.
I was gonna say that. No, Don went on TV earlier, like a few years ago, and he was like, I kind of know Jussie. He came to New York maybe a couple times, maybe 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, bro, yeah.
3 or 4 times. Oh, so you counting?
Yeah. What does what's his face say? Booty clapping sounds.
Yeah.
Light
skinned dude's taking the L, man. This week.
Oh man.
But I mean, didn't they send Martha Stewart to jail for that? Like insider trading. He was telling him what the police were talking about. Using his sources to keep Jussie abreast to their investigation. Man, that's not right. That's not journalistic integrity. That's not cool. So I hope Don Lemon, and he's on the chopping block next at CNN. Man, this is what a waste of resources, especially in Chicago. That's a war zone. I call it America's shooting range. You could have spent that overtime, them officers' time, on something more productive. Maybe they could have been plugging a bullet hole and driving somebody to the hospital instead of staying at the station to figure out what happened to this fool. He had the noose under his collar. You mean to tell me those dudes they were so blinded by racism?
The Ace Hardware swine?
Yeah. Come on, dog.
He
had a sandwich from Subway and ate it. It's like you were so traumatized. You got beat up so much. You had to get a bite to eat. You were hungry afterwards.
Yeah, you eat while you're crying. You're that distraught. And man, this was a Subway sandwich. This wasn't like some deli he's been waiting to get back in town to go eat. This is Subway.
You got all that bread. It's cold, man. You got to get water and everything to get it kind of wash it down with. I mean, come on, man. You got to actually you sat down and ate that on purpose. Like that whole thing was crazy, man.
The weather alone. The weather alone. It's minus 21, 2 o'clock in the morning. Come on, dog. You are not going out to get nothing to eat. You didn't get nothing to eat on the way there, on the plane, in the airport. Nothing. You wait until you get home and get settled, and bundle up and go to Subway. And the bleach. You know, that now everything's about the science. Well, science says bleach freezes at 18 degrees. It was negative 21. So nothing was being poured. And if it did, you ever got just 100% bleach on your clothes? It eats it. It eats holes in your clothes. 100% bleach on your skin? That's going to do even more damage. He had a scratch, like he was holding a kitten. A little, that's it. Under 2 dudes that were fueled by racism and anger and homophobia and racism. They were out freezing. They were mad. They were mad enough just being out in the cold. And that's all they gave you? 2 dudes?
But you know what? The craziest part was when he said they knew him from Empire. It's like, all right, you got these 2 racist white dudes, right? They hate black folks. They hate black, but they sitting there watching Empire. Really? Is that what they doing with their free time? And only do they watch it, they don't like you. And because you're gay, they don't like you, but they're still watching the show. That whole story was completely dumb from the beginning. And why, oh, why could you not find at least a light-skinned person? You found some Africans, Africans,
bro,
to play white guys.
Nigerian dudes, a lot of money to be out there in that cold. I'm just saying.
Hell yeah,
bro.
Yeah, they ain't used to that. They could be in a nice warm room trying to steal your grandma's retirement money. You got them out there in a snowstorm. Oh my!
Dave Chappelle was like
the cops handing in them cigarettes, and it was a wrap.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle was
cigarettes and a honey bun out of the vending machine and a soda.
That was it.
They sang like birds.
Oh man!
Dave Chappelle
they threatened to send him back to Nigeria. They had a chance to get out of this racist country, and they said no.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching the Netflix special with Dave Chappelle just to watch his juicy segment. And he said that the only person in Chicago with a MAGA hat is Kanye. So he's gonna have the police going after Kanye. I was like, man, that's not a fact.
That's another thing. You couldn't have got further away from a MAGA stronghold than Chicago.
You could travel maybe and do this whole production, go somewhere else. You right by your house. You couldn't just move a little bit down, go somewhere.
Couldn't do it. And they got footage of the damn rehearsal. You did a rehearsal?
God.
Oh man.
Why did you rehearse inside your apartment where there were no cameras, you idiot?
Dude was sending a text message afterwards talking about it's gonna be okay, I believe you, blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, guilty.
Bro, did we learn nothing from Tiger Woods? No paper trail. No paper trail.
Yeah, speaking of Tiger Woods, y'all heard what Tiger Woods said on that voicemail. Don't you call my house. Don't you call this no more, girl. My wife gonna pick up. Man, I ain't never seen Tiger Woods that frantic. I thought he lost his golf ball.
My man, on the recording, on the voicemail. It's like, sir, a voicemail? So all they gotta do is play on TV and they hear you. It's like, hey, don't call the house anymore. My wife might pick up. Like, sir,
we're doing it like the mafia. I'm turning the sync on. I'm turning the music up loud. We talk face to face. Ain't no
nobody will ever know.
No voice. Oh man,
none of that.
Like it never happened.
Go in the closet, use some army man.
Oh,
Jesus, you can't get crazier than this, man.
How? And then you got people. Kamala came out. The president came out. They weren't at the time.
Yeah.
They're coming up calling this is an attempted modern day lynching. And you keep bringing out the big guns. They're not going to be big guns anymore. Like, what are you doing? Attempted lynching?
You know what? And you keep doing that. When they come out, you can be like, oh, that's a hoax right there. They didn't brought up Kamala Harris. They didn't brought Barack Obama. You know it's a hoax at that point. Just like when you see a Facebook fact checker on something, you know it's probably legitimate because it's trying to hide the truth.
Man, I don't know if you even call it a hoax, because hoaxes usually work, don't they? At least for a little while. This stuff, man, who the hell Who in the hell believe this ever?
I don't know, man. This was one of the craziest things I myself have ever heard of in my life. And when this went down, this is what kind of started making me go towards the conservative side. Because one of my friends was like, a shout out to my boy Eric. He was like, "Nah, man, you need to start listening to these guys here." That's when I started finding ABL, you, and then when I got your channel, that's when I found Black Conservative Perspective. That's when I started turning conservative, because he was like, "Yeah, man, there's a lot of holes in this story." And then I started at first when I heard what ABL said, I'm like, "Oh, that's harsh. You can't talk about Jussie like that. I'm an Empire fan." Then I heard it again for a second time. I'm like, maybe he's right.
Bro, just come on, man. Straight nonsense. And you got these two dummies. How did you find these two dudes to pull it off? My dad, he always told me growing up, he always said, "Son, don't ever let your left hand know what your right hand
is doing."
You should have just like concocted a story and just told it yourself. You involved two other people. Have you ever seen a movie involving the police? As soon as they start tightening those screws,
they're gonna tell
about you want to be an accomplice or a defendant, or you wouldn't be a witness or a defendant, all that kind of stuff. You already know me. There ain't nobody serving no jail time for you.
It's a meme with a dude in a little interrogating room with a whole meal in front of him. You got the drink, the chicken sandwich, the fries. It's like, what is he gonna do right now? Telling on everybody.
Oh, they cut it in half too.
I'm going, huh?
They cut it in half too.
Yep, they cut it in half. just like grandma made it. He ready to tell everybody.
Everybody, everything. They ain't trying to go back to no damn Nigeria. They want to stay right here in the US of A, where they got supplements and work and whatever they want. I'm trying to go back to no damn.
They told instantly, as soon as the heat turned up a little bit, before it was any kind of trial or nothing like that, they told right away. Nope, he did it.
They picked them up at the airport. You know, as soon as they saw them feds coming up to them at the airport, they already knew.
Yeah,
I'm about to tell. When we get in this room, sir, I'm about to tell you everything.
Hey, and speaking of that, man, since we're talking about everybody telling everything, Jericho, what in the world is going on in California? Hey, man, I'm hearing now that kids, and I heard this on ABL channel, that kids can live a different life under their parents' noses while going to school. They can have different names, different everything, and not even get counted absent or don't have to worry about no attendance problems or nothing. So I could be a kid in California and have 50 different names and dress 50 different ways, and I would never get absent. I was blowed.
Well, that's if that child makes it to term, because California now wants to be an abortion sanctuary. That sounds evil. That's disgusting. But yeah, they'll give your kid a vaccine without telling you and tell the kid not to say nothing. It's sick, man. It really. We're actually my family. We're moving about 3 hours from here, about 45 minutes from the state capitol in Sacramento. But when you start getting away from the water, it's near that town Orville where they declared themselves a republic, so they don't got to deal with the vaccine mandates.
Thank God.
When you get away from the coast, it becomes much more conservative. It becomes much more realistic. I wouldn't even say so much conservative, but just realistic, because you get to the farmland where people are working for a living, and they're under the policies of these crazy Democrats, and they don't like it, and they shouldn't. But California is sick, man, and we get caught up with everybody else, because I know tons of people who think like we do. And I can't be the only one who knows a lot of people that think that way, but we get swept up with the what I call granola-headed dirt effers on my channel. But the bleeding hearts, the people that if somebody said something offensive to you, you wouldn't care, but they would get more offended than you are. Those kind of people. So when you get away from the coast, you get away from them. But we're still, in the borders of California, which I plan to change someday. But to be up, and when we lost that recall, man, that was a real kick in the nuts as a voter. Yeah, I mean that hurt, man, and it's almost like Newsom came back with a vengeance. And this is part of it. We're going to finally have a surplus, and part of that money is going to go to paying for people to travel here to have abortions and their lodging and childcare and possibly trying to find them a job if they decide to stay. This is all coming out of my pocket. And I didn't vote on this. I didn't vote on none of this nonsense. I didn't vote on, what's his name? Timothy Weiner. I think that's his name. You know, he had it tough growing up in school. But they passed a law saying that as long as it's male to male, homosexual child molesters, it's up to the judge's discretion of whether or not they need to register as a sex offender if they're convicted. So if you have a sympathetic judge, you don't have to register. You can roam about society being the pervert that you are, and you don't have to tell your neighbors, as long as the perpetrator and the victim are within 10 years of age.
So if you are a 14-year-old boy and get
a 24-year-old man,
a 24-year-old male, then it's like it's all good, ain't no problem.
It's all good. I don't have to register as a sex offender. Who would think of that? Who would stand in front of other adults and say, I want this to be law with a straight face? And then who would vote on that? We didn't. But they make these crazy ass policies and everything, man, that we get swept up in. It's disgusting, man. California is absolutely disgusting. Don't get it twisted. Everybody who lives here does not agree with what's going on. We really don't. It's the people by the water. It's Hollywood. It's Silicon Valley. You know, your Google. All that stuff's based here. Every app on your phone is based right here. Google, YouTube, Facebook, PayPal, all that stuff. It's right here in Silicon Valley in Northern California. So those kind of weirdos who benefit from all this kind of stuff are the ones making the rules, unfortunately. But there are enough dummies to where they're not voting them out.
That's a quick question, Jericho.
Please.
Hey, what's going on in LA with the sheriff? He said, you know, tourists don't come to LA right now. Is that real?
Yeah.
Why? Because of the crime?
Yeah, because of the crime and the homelessness and the no bail. Anything short of shoot somebody in the face, they're going to fingerprint you and let you go. Breaking into cars, stealing from stores, you know, and because nobody gets hurt, that doesn't mean there aren't any victims. I'm sure you'll feel a certain way or be scared if somebody breaks into your car or steals something from your business. You know, it's terrible. And yeah, man, I don't blame him. He should tell people from LA don't come to LA. Don't even come here because it's Mad Max. But they live. You know, the people like Nancy Pelosi and stuff, she don't live in her district, even though it's a nice district. On the other side of the bridge is San Francisco, and that's not a nice district. So these people, you know, they don't live with the consequences of their policies. And they see, you know, it's like the illegal stuff. They see their gardener, their housekeeper, their nanny. I like them. I want them to be here. You know, they're attached to my heartstrings. So I want them to be here, but those aren't the only kind of illegals here. There are other illegals who, you know, drink and drive and get in head-on collisions and kill the director and his son, the guy who directed Christmas Story, and the girl, what was her name? Kate, in San Francisco. I can't remember her name. She got killed by an illegal who had been deported multiple times. So they don't see that side of it. They don't see the illegal who ran into my wife in traffic. She pulls over. He grabs his kids out of the car and just starts walking down the road. Left his car, didn't check on her. Why? There's no fear of consequence. We know where they are. I drive past 7-Eleven and Home Depot. I know where they are. I'm not Border Patrol. I'm not ICE. But they don't care. They don't see the other side of them signing these policies. So, yeah, man, California sucks.
Yeah, man, that's sad, man, because, you know, I always would think of Cali being all cool and forthright and stuff of that nature. And speaking of that, I was going to ask my man Greg, what do you think about this? I think you did a special on this. I want to say somebody did. What it was? You just did something recently that. Oh, AOC, and she want the forgiveness of college funds. What do you think about that, Greg? The politician who makes $174,000 a year wants somebody, the taxpayer, to pay her $17,000 loan.
Yeah, so AOC wants that. Rashida Tlaib wants people to pay off the rest of her $70,000 that she owes because, you know, they made bad decisions. And it's like, dude, student loan debt forgiveness, you know, progressives say they're progressive, they're for the little guy. People that benefit from student loan forgiveness are literally like doctors, lawyers, engineers, like the highest income people in this country literally own most of the student loan debt. So it's literally like socialism for the rich. I mean, that's literally what it is, right? It is a gift to the rich. And they keep pushing this as if, it's going to help out the little guy. And it's like, no. Most Americans do not have student loan debt. So again, I find it fascinating how they always make this argument about, student loan debt and try to say it's progressive, but it's actually really not. So yeah, that's what they want to do because, they went to expensive schools and got degrees that really weren't worth all that much. And now they want people to, to pay for it.
Well, I'll chime in on that. It's one thing, especially you hear a lot of talk about in the manospheres, the impact of feminism. And this whole student loan thing is one of those things. We know that, unfortunately, 72% of student loan debt is held by women. Now, not to go in on women here, but you got a lot of base traditional women out there that are like, you know what, cool, I earned the loan. I mean, I took the loan out. I'm going to pay it back. But unfortunately, when it comes to the woke progressive side, it's like, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. Nobody read the fine print to me. It's not my fault. I got $300,000 in debt. The government should take care of that for me. Like, what? No. Like, you took it out. You got that degree in basket weaving. Now you earn it. But no, it's the government's fault. Like, what?
Gender studies.
Yeah. I know people who got degrees in global studies. And I asked them, what does that mean? And their answer was, I don't know. That's real. Hey, and out here in California, there's a school about 10 minutes from where I work. It's called California State University, Monterey Bay. It is on the water. From their dorms, if you're on a top floor, or third, fourth, fifth floor, whatever, you can see the ocean. So money, it costs money to go to this school, and they got to drive around, they got to eat, they got to do this, they got to do that. So if you're going to a school like this, your family got bread.
Hey, check it out though. I heard about a story of a girl. She had 80 grand in student loan debt with no degree. So you got about 2 or 3 cars on your back of debt with nothing to show for it at all. Not even the basket weaving, nothing.
Hey, but you want us to come along, and play Captain Save a student and bail you out. Sorry. I mean, what happened to all this equality you want? You jumping up and down begging for equality? Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not even get into the student loan scams out there. Take a student loan out every couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
And use that money for other stuff. 20 years
later, TVs, furniture, cars.
Yeah.
I seen some clothes. You're taking out a student loan that you got to pay back. And the federal loans, you go pay that back. Oh, they're going to get their money one way or the other. Wage garnishing, tax returns gone.
Yeah.
You'll get their money back. See, that's why. That's why it costs so much, is because the government is going to guarantee it. So they can charge whatever they want. It's a blank check.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that financial literacy, I mean, they don't want it taught to, wink, wink, marginalized communities. That's what they want to, what is it, wage slaves. That's what they intend to keep these folks. And I'm like this, no forgiveness. Like, let the barbarians have at them.
Mm-hmm. But they're steady. No, give me that yoke here. I'll put the bit in my mouth. Don't worry about it. Let's do this. Straddle me with this. Saddle me with this. It's crazy, man. Hey, fellas, I gotta get going. I gotta wake up at 3:30 in the morning.
Okay, I got you.
I'm up before the sun. I appreciate you having me, Joel. Good seeing you guys again.
Anytime,
take care.
Hey, no doubt, Jericho.
All right, I'm about to wrap it up anyway. Shout out to my man Jericho. Thank you for stopping by, because I know all these men have a lot of things to do because they are very important. You know what I mean? They're the one that keeps everything running. Now, unfortunately, we didn't have Mr. Brandon Tatum on tonight. I guess he had other engagements. I know he's out of town. So knowing him, he'll make it up. I mean, he's a guy of his word. So if he say he's going to come through, he'll come through. But anyway, speaking of everybody leaving, about to leave soon, I'm going to give the floor up to Mr. Anthony Brian Logan. What do you thought about this show tonight so far, Mr. Logan, for your first time being here?
This is good, man. It's real laid back, real fun, good topics, and it's good to be talking to people that are on the same page with you, where it's not so much headbutting and people just don't understand what you're saying. It's a good environment, man. Loving the show.
Well, appreciate it. I hope that you'll come again, Mr. Logan, because I invite people often. And we're gonna ask Greg. Greg thought I was a stalker one time. Greg told me, man, just quit hitting my Twitter for a while, brother.
I didn't say that. Cool. That's not what I said.
I know he did. I'm playing, man. I'm playing. But anyway, though, man, yeah, I would love for you to come anytime, man. That's just how we do over here and everything else. You got any major announcements that we need to know about that you got going on ABL?
Nothing major going on. I'm just continue to do my thing. I'm gonna try to put out more content. I may do another channel. Maybe y'all stay tuned for that. But yeah, just keep watching the channel and subscribe. If you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You can search ABL. Just search that right there on YouTube. I'll come right on up. I'll be the first option. And go to AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Everything's on there. My email, my snail mail, social media accounts, all that good stuff right there. Check me out.
And then don't forget, Mr. ABL, you can use this channel as on this content as well. I'm gonna hit the super chats right quick, guys. If I miss some, please don't get upset. Yeah, I'm like, it's a lot to go on. First off is Miss Sonia, $5 super chat. She says she is a fan to everyone. Let me see what that super chat said. It went so fast. Hold on. She says she's a fan to everyone. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm going to go up here and pull the rest of these super chats right quick as well. If I don't get to yours, please do not get upset. I've been trying to get them as much as I can in here. Let's see here. Who else? Anybody else? I don't think anybody else. Hey. Oh, I don't know who that was. Oh, that's funny. Let's see what else. I can't find the super chats, but whoever donated with the super chats, I appreciate you. If I did not call you, thank you. It's just a lot. I'm trying to wrap this up because these guys got other engagements. Let's see here, Mr. Black Conservative Perspective, the man, the myth, the legend, who's always busy. What you got going on that we need to know about soon, bro?
Not much, man. Just business as usual.
All right. And Trey, the NBD, y'all have seen him on my show plenty of times. He's part of the darker side of YouTube.
Gulag, man.
Yeah, the Gulag. The AKA the community side. What all you got going on your channel soon, bro?
Man, I'm getting more into it, man. I just hired another driver, man. Get me out one of my trucks. I've been in for a minute. And so hopefully, since I'm not on the road, to free up my time to do some more live streaming. And over in the Gulag gang, I'm warning anybody now. You come to my channel or the Hood Conservative or his other channel, the American Dystopia, like come with an open mind. You will be shocked. He'll keep you laughing and I'll keep you on edge. We dig down to the nether regions of, oppression. And we like to kill them with facts. We don't take no prisoners over there. And ladies, be forewarned. My channel is pretty much black pill when it comes to feminism. So don't be shocked. And
with that being said, y'all know what my channel is, raw as usual. But tonight I took the raw high road. But
I don't know about all that. I wouldn't say that now.
Don't you worry, it'll be back on tomorrow. Oh man, shout out to my man. Oh man, BCP, man. But anyway, man, like I said, I didn't have a chance to tell Jericho, but I appreciate y'all guys for coming on my show. I know I'm a small channel, but BCP, I told you a million times, man. You are one of my heroes in this game, man. You gave me a lot of information when I first started. You didn't have to do that. I was only like 400 people following me. You was like, this is what you got to do. This is what you need to do. When you get to a certain point, give me a holler. And I appreciate that. And ABL, I appreciate you too, because if it wasn't for your videos, I would not have the mindset to leave Blackistan alone, man. I was out there. I was out there real lost. So I appreciate your videos. You really put me in the right perspective. And like I said, Brandon Tatum, definitely his books has helped me too. So speaking of that, y'all, please check out his book. Back what is it called? Back the Black and Beaten Blue, like Black. Oh, I can't pronounce it. Yes, Beaten Black and Blue. I've been messing that up all week. But anyway, I got it on Audible. And let me tell y'all, that book is one of the best books I've read in a long time. It's really like you're getting a conversation from somebody that's like you've known all your life. Like one of your friends, because he's really breaking things down to you to a science. And a lot of these major cases that people were saying that was this, that, and the third, he breaks it down. So please definitely check out his book. And hopefully, BCP, you gonna ever write one, man? If you get it, I'm right. If you do, I'm getting one.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see.
What about you,
know,
ABL?
I'm thinking,
And
I will write one for sure. I definitely will write one because I got a lot of story to tell, a lot of life stories to talk about. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do that for sure.
what about you, Trey NBD? Are you thinking about writing one soon?
yeah, I probably will, man. I'm gonna write one because being like an undercover conservative, in the military, and not really coming out with it until a couple years after I was out the military. I just assumed there was more brothers, like myself. And when I found out, with this election, is that a lot of brothers that claim they on the right, one little, George Floyd or Rayshard Brooks or Breonna Taylor or whatever, and they right back over there with the lefties, claiming, we oppressed. So it's a small group out here. And especially coming where me and ABL come from, like, man, I was a cosplay Pookie growing up in Cavalier Manor. So
I know how that goes.
Of getting rid of that side of me. And now that I look back at it, I'm like, man, I got a story to tell. And
man. Well, Greg, I ain't trying to get in your business, but Greg, I think you would have a cool story because some of the cool jobs you said you've done and some of the adversities you done overcome with a little bit when we had that interview on my channel. I think your book would sell because you really tell things at a different perspective than most people. Greg, I think it would sell, man. I definitely buy it.
Yeah, man, I might write a financial literacy book or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, you really got it together, man. You one of a few people I know in our age bracket that really got it together. Most people don't even think like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, me writing a book, I don't know, man. My wife say I should, but I don't know. I do know I have a powerful story because, like I told y'all, and I've told on BCP, everybody know I was a recovering pillhead, and that's just facts. In 2014, I was nowhere near where I'm at now. I was out there. I was messed up, and I didn't care about anybody but myself. And I thank God every day that I am where I'm at today. And I'm glad that I got a good support system, and I got a lot of I consider all y'all my friends because I don't really talk to people like that in person, man. I'm very private. But yeah, y'all know more about my personal life than people that I've grown up with. I ain't being lying. I'm being honest. So I appreciate you guys, man, and thank y'all so much. I really do.
And no problem, man, for sure.
All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Like I said, y'all know the channels, you know how to follow these guys. Don't hesitate to get in the comments and ask them anything. They answer that stuff as well, and they may even teach you something if you ask them nicely. Okay, so please like, share, subscribe. We love you guys. Take care of yourself. Thank you for all super chats. Please keep a lookout on all these guys' channels and everything else. That's it, man. We out.
Peace.
All right, I'll tell you.
Peace.